In this video, we'll be using various strategies and resources to select a disease with high global burden and a region of the world that it impacts. Since we're looking for a topic and background information, we won't be searching for scholarly research articles, which would provide too much specialized detail. One place that we can look instead to help us brainstorm are the websites of international health organizations who present information on global disease. But before we start searching, let's review what burden of disease means. So I'm going to do a DuckDuckGo search, and I can click on the definition on Wikipedia just to get us started. So disease burden is the impact of a health problem as measured by financial cost, mortality, morbidity, and other indicators. So factors include prevalence and incidence, so how often it occurs and spreads. Also the fatality rate, and the disability adjusted life years, so how is the quality of life living with the disease, and the years of life lost at the end of life when living with it. So we want to consider these type of factors when choosing a disease for our topic. And we can start by searching for the World Health Organization. They are a specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for international public health. So again, I just did a quick DuckDuckGo search for them. And since they focus on international public health, their homepage obviously right now has the coronavirus very prominently. But looking at their top bar in blue, you can see that they organize information by topic, by country, and also by emergencies, which would be health situations that are dire to an area and population. So these categories can help us narrow down our selections for a topic. Let's start by looking at emergencies and see what regions of the world are experiencing health issues. So we can click on the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this first news slide here shows that there is an Ebola outbreak in August. So we can click read more to learn about that. It shows that the latest outbreak was declared on June 1st in the Equateur province. Of the 100 cases reported, 96 are confirmed for probable. 43 people have lost their lives. So this definitely seems like it could be a potential topic for us, but we want to learn more about its disease burden. So we can go to health topics and go to E for Ebola, or it's actually right here in the popular section. So this is a fact page about Ebola. It's going to have a lot of statistics and numbers, situation reports. But if we keep scrolling down, there is also a set of fact sheets. So these are important because it says that the Ebola virus, it's a fever, it is severe and often fatal in humans. It is transmitted to people from wild animals and spreads in the population from human to human transmission. And the case fatality rate is around 50%. So all of those do show factors of high disease burden because their prevalence and incidence is high, the fatality rate is high, and it can be spread through human to human transmission easily. And there's also more background and transmission information that we can find here, which could eventually be used as background information in our paper. And as we know from both the facts here and the news that we just looked at, it is impacting the Congo region, so we could use that as our region for our paper. So we could try to also find a different method for finding a topic. So we used the emergencies section of the homepage, but we can also browse by health topic. We can go to health topics and look at the popular ones here, or we can pick a letter to browse. So if I click on, let's say H, there is an alphabet here that I could just browse through. So I see Zika, I see yellow fever, I see tuberculosis. Scrolling up a little bit more, there's lots of different options. I could select HIV/AIDS. It's frequently discussed, so we can explore that a little bit more. And similar to the Ebola page, this is the topic page for HIV/AIDS. And it does show a very high prevalence, right? 25.7 million people, 470,000 people died in 2018. It looks like this overview talks about the disease a bit and how it impacts a person as it destroys and impairs the function of immune cells. I don't necessarily see it's talking a lot about disease burden, but we can continue to scroll down and look for that fact sheet that we saw for Ebola as well. And actually right here is a section on disease burden. So HIV continues to be a major global public health issue. There are approximately, as I said, 37.9 million people living with HIV. The African region is the most affected region. It's diagnosed through rapid tests. Key populations often face legal and social barriers that increase their vulnerability and impede their access to prevention, testing, and treatment programs. There is no cure. It is estimated that 79% of people with HIV know their status, and an estimated 23.3 million people are receiving antiviral therapy. So looking back, about the legal and social barriers, that is also an impact on the disease burden, because it impacts their quality of life and whether or not they can actually get treatment. So looking at these disease burden facts, we could definitely say that HIV and AIDS would be a topic that would work for this paper. And scrolling down, we can see some featured news. And remember, you're looking for an intervention, so something that could be used to tackle this disease with a global burden. And there's actually some interventions here in these news articles: 23 million voluntary male medical circumcisions, preventing HIV in high burden areas through voluntary medical male circumcision. Again, this is from August, and it talks about how they are implementing this intervention in certain specific areas. So this could actually be something that could be researched more in a scholarly article in the PACE Library homepage to try to find primary and secondary data about this intervention. So far in this video, we have used the World Health Organization to find two different topics of high global burden, as well as two specific regions of the globe to research these issues. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can visit the library homepage and click on Ask a Librarian, or contact the librarian for your course.